What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Living Free channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and in this video, I'm gonna be going over why the trucking business is so tough for so many people, or at least my opinion about that. And why am I making this video? Well, I'm making this video because I see all the time comments on my channel saying, hey man, you're one of the only people that I watch that's even positive about trucking. I don't know why that is. Why is it that 90% of the content out there pertaining to the trucking industry is so negative? Why is that? I'm gonna discuss why I think that is and what to do about working in, or at least having success in a very tough industry, because it is true. Trucking is a very tough business. It is. It's a very tough business. It's very competitive. However, you can make a ton of money in trucking, and you can build generational wealth if you go about it the right way. You really can. You can start out as just a driver for a company and become a multimillionaire in trucking. 100% you can do that. You can not only become a multimillionaire, but even when you're first getting started, within 2 to 3 years, you can be making six figures. And then after 2 to 3 years, you could be making $150,000, $200,000. If you start a fleet, grow a fleet, you could make a lot more than that. And there is a path to success in trucking. You just have to go about it the right way. So I'm gonna be going over that in this video. So if you're somebody that's new to trucking, you just got your CDL, or you've only been driving for a year, or if you're even somebody that hasn't even gotten into trucking yet, you're just looking at it as a potential career path, or you're somebody that's a veteran. You've been working in the industry for 2, 3, 4 years, but you're not really getting ahead. This is for really anybody who is looking to have success with trucking, whether you're in it or you're not. I'm just gonna start out though with the very beginning to explain how I did it, really, because that's the only way I can really discuss this, is talk about how I did it or how I see it. That's it. That's all I can do, and you make of it what you will, right? And so, in my opinion, if you're somebody looking at trucking as a long-term career path, but you're not sure about getting in because you see all the negative videos out there, news articles, blogs, whatever you're looking at, wherever you're getting your information about trucking, you're looking at the wrong thing, because there's always going to be negative news surrounding or pertaining to or reported on about every industry out there. I don't care what industry you're in, you're going to hear nonstop negativity. If you're watching the media, period, if you're watching any news outlet, that's all they do is report negative news. So don't pay attention to that. Try to make a plan for yourself and follow that, because let me tell you, trucking is a $1 trillion industry, nearly $1 trillion industry. There is so much money to be made in trucking. 100% there is. But again, like I said, you got to go about it a certain way. So I'm going to get right into that. And again, for those of you, I'll start off with, before you even get into trucking, this is what you should do. This is the plan, or somewhat of the plan you need to make. But again, if you're somebody that's already in, but you're not having any real success, this is also a good video for you. You can do the same thing as well. You can turn around not getting ahead in trucking. You can turn that around by changing the principles or changing your habits. You can do that, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end so you can hear the entire point, okay? So before you even get into trucking, this is what I did. Before I got in, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what division I wanted to work in. I knew that I wanted to become an owner-operator. I knew that I wanted to start a fleet eventually, or grow a fleet, go from one truck to multiple trucks. I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I began my career before I even signed up for CDL school, before I even went to Millis to get my CDL and go through their school. I knew that that was my goal. I had to go through the steps though. You have to go through the steps. You know you're gonna have to go to the trucking school, get your CDL, go with a trainer, get your experience, save your money. I already knew I'd have to do all that. But the point is begin your career with the end in mind. Have your goals laid out before you even start. That's the first thing, okay? So what division do you want to work in? Do you want to do dry van? Do you want to do LTL freight? You would have to get your endorsements. Do you want to do hazmat, tanker, oil field work, construction work, car hauler, oversized load, step deck, whatever, reefer? What division do you want to work in? And then what do you want to do in that division? Some people don't want to start a business at all. Okay, so if you don't want to start a business, do you want to save up, buy real estate? Do you want to invest in the stock market? What do you want to do with the money you're making as a company driver? The point is just to be thinking about exactly what you want to do. And I'll just go over how I thought about it. I knew what I wanted to do. So by me talking about what was going through my mind, it should be able to help you out. Whoever you are watching this video, it should be able to help you out with thinking through a plan. That's the point, is think through, strategize what you want to do, okay? I knew before going into trucking, that's what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to be an owner-operator and hopefully build a fleet, right? I also had a goal, though, of not only having success with trucking, but taking some of my money out of trucking and investing into assets, other assets outside of trucking. My preferred asset class is the stock market, is stocks. And specifically, I buy low-cost, broad-based index funds. I pretty much invest in the global stock market. I buy about 75% US, total US stock market index, and I put 25% of my money into a total international index. So I'm pretty much buying the global stock market, broad-based, low-cost global stock market index is pretty much what I'm doing and what I've been doing for 5 years. I've been doing that since I started in trucking, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. Before I even got in, before I started making trucking money, I knew I wanted to be an owner-operator, grow a fleet, but also on the side, be investing for long-term wealth in low-cost, broad-based index funds. That's what I wanted to do. And eventually my goal with trucking, and just period, my goal is to have financial independence. I knew that I wanted to use trucking to do that. These are all things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to retire if I wanted to by age 35. I turned 30 in October of this year, but I have 5 more years to accomplish my goal. I am about halfway there. I started 5 years ago and I'm about halfway there, right? So if I just stay on the trajectory I'm on, I will reach that goal of FI by 35. I'm not going to stop working, not going to stop growing, but that was my goal when I got into trucking. Was I wanted to use the income from trucking, and invest in assets. That's what I wanted to do, and those assets would eventually pay me enough money in the future to create that financial freedom, that financial independence. And again, these are all the goals I had. Yes, they're very general. Yes, I had to make a more strategic, laid out plan, and I have that to accomplish those goals and little steps along the way. But again, you have to think big, right? I want to own a fleet. I want to have financial freedom from the stock market or real estate, whatever it is. That's what you got to be thinking about before you get in, 100%. And then, okay, between that though, and write it all out on a pen and pad, lay it out on paper, write your goals down. 100%. Most people don't do that. Most people just get into truck. Oh, I heard you can make this much money. I'm going to get into trucking, and then find out like, hey, it's not what I thought it would be, right? Well, it's not what you thought it would be because you had no plan. That is the biggest thing. 100% for people starting out, they have zero plan, zero goals. They're just here for a paycheck. That's all they have no idea what they want to do. So that is why it's such a tough business for so many people. It really is. That is why. And you can have tremendous success if you go into it with that plan of, hey, I know what I want to do with it. Okay, I'm going to lay out the steps for achieving these goals that I want to achieve, right? And you can do it 100%. I just shared with you what my goals were, and I laid out the steps in between to reach those goals, okay? And so that applies to anybody. If you're somebody that's already in trucking and you're just driving and making a paycheck, okay, but you're in debt, use trucking to get out of debt. Use trucking after that to build up an emergency fund. Use trucking after you get out of debt and have an emergency fund. Use that to start saving up to buy your first truck, or saving up to buy a rental property, saving up to invest in stocks. That's what you need to do. That's how you have success. You make a plan for your trucking career, and then you make a plan for your finances and how you're going to use trucking to get ahead financially. That is the way to have success in trucking. There is always going to be work. Let me tell you, we're going to go through boom times in trucking and bust times in trucking. It's been that way since the beginning of this industry. That's how this economy overall, period, works. You go through ups and downs, right? You go through up markets, down markets, sideways markets. That's the way it is. In trucking, to have success starting out and then for the long run, you have to come in with a plan, you have to follow that plan, and you have to not waver, stick with the plan, and you will have success. There's always going to be work in trucking. This is one of the most important industries in the entire country. Even in bad economic times, trucking will still thrive because trucking is a necessity. We have to have every single product that you use is moved on a truck. Every single one in this country, really around the world. It's an amazing industry. There's so many opportunities. You're not going to hear that from all these other people you're watching. It's an amazing opportunity, 100%, especially when you have a plan, you use the trucking income, and you're debt free. Get out of debt. That is one of the biggest things. After you have that plan for how you're going to make your money in trucking, use it to get completely out of debt. Have an emergency fund. And then when you are out of debt, you have very low bills and you're able to save up and invest more. That's the point. Use trucking to get ahead financially. I know I've said that multiple times, but that is the whole reason for anybody to get into trucking and make a career out of it. That's really the whole reason to get into any career, in my opinion, but I'm talking about trucking because that's what I do and that's what I talk about on this channel, how I use trucking to get ahead financially and accomplish my goals, really. But that is what I did. I started out I began with the end in mind, right? There's a great book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and one of those habits is successful people begin with the end in mind. They know what they want to accomplish before they even start out in that venture, and you have to do that. You have to have clear-cut goals that you know you can attain. They're hard. They're a stretch. You have to think big, but you know they're attainable because you can set incremental goals along the way, like I said, to accomplish that big long-term goal. That is one of the biggest things, guys, is changing your mindset. Trucking is not going anywhere. Are we going to have another boom time in trucking? Absolutely, we will. But you can have success in any time in trucking, 100%. If you're an owner-op, now I'm just recently became an owner-operator, right? And I'll end with this. You know, I've learned a lot so far as an owner-op. I have learned that to have success in trucking, period, you have to minimize your expenses, lower expenses, and produce as much revenue as possible, whether you're company or owner-op. Low cost of operation as an owner-operator will succeed. If you're debt-free in your business, you will succeed in pretty much any time. As even, you may not make as much money as you could in the boom times, no, but you will get through it. You will have success if you do that. And I've learned that. I see the numbers every single week. I see the settlement. I'm like, okay, well, if I had a $1,000 truck payment, this would not be as worth it as it is now with a paid off truck, right? So just that one thing, I'm able to see that now for myself, that yeah, I'm so glad I waited and I saved up and paid cash for a truck. And I knew that's what I wanted to do before I started out. Again, clear goals, right? Not only did I want to be an owner-operator and grow a fleet and all that, I wanted to do it debt-free. And that's contrary to what most people will do in trucking. They'll go out and borrow a bunch of money to get into this business and fail and wonder why. Well, because, when you're in a commodities-based industry, like trucking, this is a commodity-based business. Commodities go through boom and bust cycles, and the only way to have sustained success in a commodity-based business where you don't really have much of a moat in trucking, because really anybody with a truck can do it and move the freight, you want to find a way to have an advantage over the competition, because it's a highly competitive industry. Well, how to do that is to have a low cost of operation. And if you're not in the position to go out and buy a truck in cash and be debt free, don't do it at all. I will save so many of you from bankruptcy and headache and losing a bunch of money. Don't do that. Just stick with your company job that pays you really well. If you want to be an owner operator, take your time, save up, pay cash, then go do it, and you will have way better success, a way better time too. You will enjoy it more. It'll be way less stress, everything, 100%. I just wanted to end with the owner op thing, just to give my 2 cents about that, because a lot of people that are complaining about trucking are deeply in debt, and they are owner operators, and they're telling people, oh, don't get into trucking. No, you just have to take your time. It's going to take a while to accomplish your goals and have true success, but you can do that with the right plan, the right strategy, and the right work ethic. So that's it for this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching my channel. I just hit 5,000 subscribers, so for those of you that are subscribed, I really appreciate each and every one of you. You're the reason why I continue to do these videos, and God bless. Thank you for watching, and peace out. Stay tuned for the next one.